What's your favorite song?
How y'all doing? Welcome back. We back. We back with another episode of Hypothetically Speaking.
Hypothetically Speaking.
I'm one of your hosts, Michael Robertson, aka Mike Laurie, aka He Don't Miss, aka Microwave. And to my left is my brother.
Yes, sir. I'm your other host, Juan, aka Sung High, aka I'm Always Open, aka Throw It Up, you know what I mean?
And today our special guest, we told y'all our second episode, we gonna have some crazy guests this season.
Oh yeah, we got some heat for y'all for sure.
We got some heat for y'all. Our second guest, first guest, not second guest, I'm mistaken. Our first guest, Mr. Multi-Family, Mr. 70% from behind the arc. Mr. He Don't Miss Either.
At all.
Mr. Multi-Family himself, Newton, Jullien Gordon. Y'all know him as Jullien Gordon, we know him as
Salute. Appreciate you for coming out, Jullien.
Absolutely.
Man. Happy to be here.
Of course, man. Of course. We really appreciate you. So, me and Mike, we know you. You know what I mean? We know you past, Mr. Multi-Family and everything like that. But audience and the people who, they're listening to us and everything like that, they don't know who you are past Mr. Multi-Family. They see Mr. Multi-Family, bunch of units in real estate,
bunch of doors.
freeing people to above ground Harriet Tubman.
Railroad. He didn't free 200 people, $50 million worth of real estate.
Oh yeah.
And that's only the beginning. He's just starting.
That's just the beginning. But we here today because we want people to know and understand who you are as a person, rather than just the real estate. So a lot of times we see people and we feel like they're not human. You know what I mean? Especially when we see them in those levels and hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. Clearly, you well off substantially. You're trying to help free people and everything like that. So we want people to understand who you are just as a person.
Right. Who are you outside of Mr. Multi-Family? Who is Jullien Gordon? Let us know. Inform us.
Right now?
Yeah.
Who are you?
So my highest identity above all, because we have all these labels from gender to sexuality to race, religion, etc. But my highest identity of all is child of God, and that transcends everything that comes above all. And I honestly feel like it's inclusive. I believe we all children of God, and so that's where I always start. And then from there, I have other identities in a certain order that I choose to wear. But when it comes down to come down at my core of who I am, I'm just a child of God.
Isn't everybody?
Everybody is, but everybody don't know it though.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, everybody don't know it though.
That's true.
Because you could go your whole life without knowing who you really are.
Yeah,
That's true. That's
100%.
deep. Go your
for
whole
real.
life without knowing who you really are.
No, just straight out because of, organized religion. Some people think that they're bastards. Like there's just one son of God out there, and if there's only one son of God, then who's everybody else? Where everybody else?
Cousins?
Right.
Right. Where my dad at? Right. Where my mom at? And so,
For real.
So I just start there first, and everything else falls from there.
That's dope.
Like you said, you're a child of God. God could be a big influence for like some people, biggest influence in life. So like, who do you think was one of your greatest influences coming up?
My greatest influence coming up. Oh man. To be honest, it was my baseball coach, Will Ash. Shout out to Will.
Shout out Will.
Shout out Will Ash.
Yeah.
Oakland.
Oakland, California.
Yes, sir.
I grew up playing baseball with him and my best friend Johnny Ash, and we started on T-ball, right? And then went to the minors. The team was named Kappa, and we played in the Babe Ruth League out in East Oakland.
That's
we
dope.
practiced at Lowell out in West Oakland, and man, just the way he took me in. I had my dad. My dad was there. My dad was working hard though, so my dad was not into sports or anything like that. And so, I would go over to Johnny's house all the time. I had a key to their house.
Oh
you know
wow,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that's love. That's when you know you're part of the family right there.
Basically adopted.
Yeah, you know you're part of the
100%.
family right
And
there.
so, just his influence, not only and then that influence stayed until even through college. Even through college, he was just there for me, and so that's one of my biggest influences. And then my soccer coach, Coach Jim, Same thing. Coach Jim was our minister, and he was our soccer coach. And so I learned.
Black brother leading soccer?
No, Coach Jim is white.
Okay.
So I was about to say, boy.
Hey, shout out.
Different in Oakland.
Hey, we some of the best soccer players.
Oh, for sure. We just end up
choosing.
choosing other stuff like football and like the American football and
That's
basketball.
exactly what I did. I was actually a better soccer player than I was a basketball player, but in junior high school, girls wanted.
Man, they want
the basketball.
Yeah, they want the basketball.
So here I am, this couldn't grow past 4'6", right? Junior high school, was stuck there for a minute, and so I went after basketball because that was a cool thing to do.
Right.
Even though I was a better soccer player, I was real quick and fast. I played center midfield, and but what's beautiful is that it came full circle because when my little brother was coming up, I ended up coaching his soccer team. And it was like a
full circle moment.
Yeah, it was like a full circle moment. It was like a Disney movie because when I came into the team, my brother was coming home crying after these games. Like, why are you crying, homie? Yeah. And he was just like, we suck, all right? And we suck. And so
never any fun losing. Never any fun losing.
Not at all. And it was because some parents just decided to be coaches, but they had no soccer skills whatsoever.
Okay.
So my dad said, you got to coach your team. I'm like, I'm in high school. I ain't got time for that. But you mean I got to coach your team? Right. But then I remember my influences, Coach Will, Coach Jim. Right. It's like, man, I got to give back. Yeah. And so we practiced on Mondays. That was part of the problem because games were until Saturday.
Oh, y'all practicing way too early.
Right, but you learn from your mistakes on Saturday. You correct them on Monday. But
nope, y'all ain't had two practices?
No, they didn't have two
just
practices.
One practice, then you play on Sunday?
How old were they? They were I think under 10s, and then we moved to under 12. So they just
they're not going to remember that.
No, not at all.
That was the problem. But look, we went from losing by 6 goals, 6-0, right?
Sheesh.
To losing. Next week, we lost 3-0.
Okay, yeah.
The next week, we tied.
Yeah.
Okay, progress.
And then the next week, we won.
Oh, man.
And we stayed winning.
Okay.
That's called.
It was literally a Disney movie.
This a whole kicking and screaming Will Ferrell movie.
For real. The real question is, why didn't you take your soccer coaching career to the next level? For real.
Man, I don't know, man. I enjoyed it. One of the things that derailed me on that journey was I don't know if I was too tough on him. There was a young man on the team, and he was actually a little bow-legged, and I mistook that for him not hustling. And I pushed him really, really hard, and one day I actually yelled at him, and he never came back after that game.
Oh man, I ain't gonna say nothing on that topic, but man.
No, but he was a young kid though. Did it make you feel some type of way about it, or?
Yeah, because those kind of moments can, especially if he had a physical disability.
Right.
It's not a physical disability. He was just bow-legged.
Right. Actually, bow-legged can be fast.
Well, he wasn't that fast, so that's why it didn't look like he was hustling at all, right?
Right.
And I don't know how that impacted him.
Yeah.
Now,
that's true.
Today, I believe in tough love. Like, tough love is what pushes me.
For sure.
But I also got to learn there's other people who need certain different
styles of pushing and motivating.
Right? Yeah. And I just got one mode that works for me, and then I use on others. But it's almost like the 5 love languages. You got to find out what's best for you, and then what's best for the people that you're working with. And as a coach and as a leader, you actually have to understand what each member of your team needs. Like, that person likes to compare, even though comparison is not healthy, right? That person likes to compare, so you need to say, why are you letting him beat you, right? And that person needs to be pushed. That person needs a one-on-one conversation on the side. That person needs a phone call on Wednesday. Talk about, I saw what you did out there. They need affirmation. Like, that was my first leadership lesson. And I also went off to college, so that was that was the end of coaching soccer. Yeah.
Oh man, you could have. Where'd you go to college? You went to Stanford, right?
Oh, UCLA.
UCLA. You could have been a UCLA coach, man. Assistant coach out there. Yeah, you talk about the girls then. Ooh.
LA. No, I love playing. I'm actually both now. I'm like a player coach.
Okay, you Doc Rivers.
No, Doc Rivers.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, y'all get out there.
Oh
Do your thing. I got you.
Doc won. How many? He won 2 chips?
No, you only got one with Boston.
Boston.
I'm not gonna speak on that, viewers, but y'all, Doc Rivers is not as good as y'all think, but he's decent.
He should have 2 chips, but
Doc Rivers be having some squads, man. He had some squads.
They only got 1 chip.
Hey man, hey, a lot of times, like you said, sometimes you got to learn how to touch the pieces and put them together. I think that's what really is coaching is really about, especially when you get to that level. You know, being able to put the pieces in the right.
Grown men, like
put the pieces in the right spot. Yeah,
really
for
grown
sure.
men who can really defend themselves and tell you like, bro, don't talk to me like that.
Right,
got it fucked up around here. Like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But speaking of influences and everything like that, so. A lot of times people, when we talk about, especially in these industries, when we trying to, you know what I'm saying, get after it and things like that, we always talk about, you know, find your why, and your why is going to push you, you know, find your why. If you got a why, you won't give up. You got a why for something, you know, you're going to keep grinding. But you never hear anybody talking about the process. Yeah, of finding your why. Like, how do you find your why?
That's a great question. So, my first conversation around finding your why or your purpose was Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. So shout out to Rick Warren for putting out that book that it changed the lives of so many.
Right.
So there was a Bible study that I went to, and we went through that book together. And that was my first understanding that my purpose was great. Actually, came in my life at the perfect time because I was following my parents' footsteps, right?
Yeah.
And I went to UCLA. Both my parents were doctors, so I come from a lot of privilege. But growing up, everybody thought I was going to be a doctor too,
right?
Because my parents were doctors. It was just default, right? Yeah. And I realized that, observing their lives, I was happy if they were happy. But they worked some very long hours, and and while they provided for me, they weren't always as present as I would have hoped to be. Like, unfortunately, comparison as a little kid, I saw my best friend's dads coaching the team.
Right.
My parents didn't have a schedule. They didn't have the time. So I was like, no, that's not what I want to do.
That's crazy that you're saying it, because like me and Juan grew up poor in the hood, and your parents were successful. Our parents had to literally work 2 jobs just to get the bare minimum, and they still wasn't there. So it's like, it's crazy how those two things are the same when our lives are completely different.
I wasn't in the hood, but you know what I mean. My people kind of moved. I'm like on the J. Cole thing. Like, we went from the hood to like early, like a little middle class, and then they straight. You know what I mean? But still, like you're saying, you got to work all day, every day. Every day.
So that's why you was by Johnny. And messing with Will, because it's like his parents were there. They were parents. No offense to your parents, but like, your parents just had to work.
Right. Yeah, 100%. And my hope is that they loved the work that they did. But so that started the conversation. But following my parents' footsteps, one thing that I did when I was 18 years old is I bought a Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
How you got that?
Just finished my first year of college. It was actually a used car auction, $3,500.
Ooh, hey, smart man went to the auction.
I went to the auction though.
Hey,
every day
that's a gym for y'all. That's a gym for y'all.
Kind of a gym.
That's a gym for y'all.
See it.
Not to get the Mercedes-Benz, but look, the used car auction don't get it fresh off the lot.
But it's gonna be a cubic zirconian in a second. Listen to the story. So I bought it, and 2 miles after driving it off the lot, it broke down.
No, you didn't take a mechanic with you?
I took the homie with me, so got it towed to this European car dealership, and it cost more to fix the car than I did to buy it.
Man.
And so, I put all the money that I had saved from tutoring during my first year of college back into the car. And then 2 weeks later, my friends and I were promoting a party out in LA. And the way you promote a party is you park in the parking lot and you pass out your flyers at the party that's letting out the night before yours.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I pull into this parking lot in South Central, and the moment I pull in the parking lot, 2 men jump out of the car in front of me with guns drawn. Ooh. All of a sudden, I'm staring down the barrel of a gun, and he asked for the keys, and the car is gone just like that.
Man.
God.
Literally only had it for 2 weeks, right?
Man.
So that I'm grateful for that moment.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, what?
because fortunately that summer I was an RA, so I had housing and food taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
So my basic needs were met, and I went through a deep space of introspection. There's no more partying for me.
Right.
I didn't have any money, etc. And I had to ask myself some real important questions, like first and foremost, why did I buy a Mercedes-Benz?
Right.
Right, the 1990 black 190E with the tan interior, the one in the movie Coming to America.
Oh,
That's
yeah. That be clean, too. Yeah.
But why did I buy that car? And the only reason I bought that car is because both my parents had Mercedes-Benz.
Right.
Okay.
It
Right.
was subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
It was programming. That was not the best car for me to have as a student who had just finished my first year at UCLA, but because that's all I knew. That's what I went after, and I wanted to show my parents that I was on the path of success like them by getting the things that they got faster.
Right.
Right.
And so the next question I had to ask was, whose definition of success was I living? And once I
Deep
got clear
question.
that I was actually living my parents' definition of success and not mine.
Yeah.
And then the third most important question comes, what's your definition of success? And what does a purpose-driven life look like for you? And so that what started me on my journey. If that didn't happen, I'd have probably been just playing out the program and literally riding my parents' wave, and I wouldn't be here in front of you in this way at this moment in time. Not saying that being a doctor is not a noble thing to do.
Right.
But if that's not what you were created to do as a child of God, then no matter how much you succeed in that, you will not be fulfilled.
Never.
You can succeed according to society standards, but you won't be fulfilled. And so in terms of finding purpose, I came to the deep understanding that why would your God create you for a purpose and then not give you everything you need to succeed at it? So
That's real.
rather than focusing on finding a job for money, I said, I'm going to find my purpose. And I know that the economic resource that I need to continue doing that work, as long as it's in alignment with my creator, it'll come.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you've all seen unfold in my life. My goal is to always be in alignment. My goal has never been to have the highest paying job. It's to be in alignment and be doing the unique thing that I was created to do. And so that journey, what it looked like for me, it looked like a lot of personal growth and development, a lot of reading from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, As a Man Thinketh. As a Man Thinketh, one of my favorite books is The Perfect Power Within You, reading the Bible and understanding the allegories and the hidden meanings in that book, reading other spiritual texts, hiring coaches, and just asking in meditation and asking, going back to source every single day to stay in alignment and say, just use me. Use me. What would you want me to do today? Just use me. I am here as an expression of you, and I just want to be in alignment. And so when I focus on staying in alignment, what I find is that I never get steered wrong. And so initially coming out of graduate school, I felt that my purpose was to help other people get clarity on their purpose. And so I started doing workshops in my living room just like this. It started out with a workshop for 8 people, and they came to my living room, and it was called Driving School for Life. Right? It was called Driving School for Life.
That's the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the beginning. And that full day experience, they loved it so much that I ended up teaching that to hundreds of young professionals in 5 different cities across the country. Now, the key step there was that I was working a job right after business school, and I sent out this email on November 10th inviting 8 people to come to my living room on November 22nd for this experience.
Right.
Now, when I sent out that email on November 10th, I had nothing planned for November 22nd.
Hey, but you put yourself in a position to have to make something happen because you know they coming at that point.
They coming.
They
They
coming.
RSVP.
Yeah, they coming.
It's 8 people, you got to do something.
Yeah, you just
I got-
coming. They
and
coming.
They not coming to learn how to bake a cake. They coming to learn how to find their life purpose.
Right,
So I had
yeah.
12 days to get it together, and I got it together, and they loved it. And I have a picture of that I keep with me to remind me.
That's dope.
Like, that's how you activate yourself.
That's dope.
And see, dates don't hold you accountable. What holds you accountable is events that involve other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you can get other people involved in the things that you are seeking to create, because we have this weird psychology about ourselves as human beings, where we're more comfortable disappointing ourselves than we are other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll disappoint ourselves, but we don't want to disappoint other people. So rather than looking at that as in the negative, you say, how do I get other people involved in that which I'm doing? So if you want to run a marathon, go get your first donation. Go ask somebody to show up at the finish line for you.
Oh, yeah.
Once you got that first donation, or that person said, I'll be at the finish line, or I'll have a sign held up for you. Once you know that they're going to be there, what does that
finish? You gonna finish.
Man, that just kind of goes into the point like
You
we
gonna
are all connected, no matter what race, where you from, where your background from. We all connected. We always want to make sure people see us in the right light.
Yeah.
And make sure people like, man, hold us accountable.
Yeah.
It's like you fail that person, like you said, it's easy to fail yourself because it's like I could get through it. I didn't fail so many times before nobody's seen it, so it's like I could get through it. But say you got a daughter, say you got a son or your cousin, that's like, hey, yo, I'm counting on you.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I gotta get this done.
Yeah.
I need to.
Gotta get it done.
So you can actually activate positive peer pressure in your own life.
Yeah.
We got a lot of negative peer pressure, but you two, the reason you're friends is because you activate positive peer pressure in each other's life. You keep pushing each other forward. And so when you learn how to set up and structure those things that you want to accomplish in the right way, then you'll see that you start moving forward because you've gotten other people involved in your goals. When I published Rich and Righteous, I let everybody know when it was going to be released.
Right.
It wasn't done.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't done.
Probably only had a paragraph.
Pre-orders.
Flooding.
Hundreds and hundreds
Oh,
and
yeah.
hundreds of pre-orders.
You
You
gotta
gotta
get
get
that
it
done.
done.
With expectations.
You gotta get it
So
done.
what did that do?
Pressure. That's pressure.
You know,
Pressure.
and what's crazy is that actually was the next question we had. Like, how, you know what I'm saying?
What gets you to the next level?
next
but
level,
you already
but
answered
yeah.
it. So it's just like
Yeah. That's
the accountability, basically.
Man.
It's just
Accountability. Because
Accountability.
look, if a lot of people are in this DIY mentality and we're in this information age.
Yeah.
and
Consume.
everything that you need is out there.
Yeah.
And so if the information is free now, YouTube University, blog posts, podcasts, etc., why are you still not where you want to be? You can't blame the information no more.
No.
So what's missing for people is the structure and the accountability that make sure that they implement the information. Because the truth will not set you free. I know that scripture, the truth will set you free. No, it's acting on the truth that will set you free. You will not get free until you act on the truth.
That's real.
And so
That's real.
what a lot of people are doing right now, they're becoming personal development junkies. They're becoming information junkies.
Right.
They're saving stuff on YouTube, bookmarking websites, things of that nature, but they never take action.
That's just
Yeah.
motivation. Motivation is completely different.
It's
from
temporary.
action.
It's
Yeah.
very, very, very temporary.
Yeah.
Motivation is very temporary. I think it was Gary B I was watching, and he was like, "Man, I could know. You know, what I'm saying, why if everybody knows how to do something, everybody knows how to get abs. Everybody knows how to get abs. Why doesn't everybody have abs?" He's like, "I can learn about it all day. I can teach about it all day.
Yeah.
But learning about how to get abs is totally different from getting them.
Yeah,
you got to get
facts.
down there and get your crunches on and get your sit-ups on. And you got to get them.
Yeah, but the easiest way to do that is either to have positive peer pressure from a friend or to hire a coach
That's
or
true.
trainer.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to get to where you're trying to go. But so many people are relying on self-discipline,
Yeah.
which is not a sustainable substance to rely on.
Yeah.
So to
Not
get out of my
solely,
own
yeah.
way, you need it. You
Yeah.
could need it to get activated a little bit, but
solely on his own.
solely on his own, if that's the only thing you're relying on. If it, like Dr. Robert Schuller, I used to watch him on Sundays, and he had this quote that was programmed into me for quite some time, and it was, "If it's going to be, it's up to me. If I leave it up to you, it may not come true." And that got me so far in my life, but then when I wanted to achieve things that were beyond where I was, I had to let that quote go.
Yeah.
If it's going to be, then I actually need to connect with somebody
Right.
who's already where I want to be,
Right.
and let them show me to accelerate the process.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
they already have the blueprint.
yeah, so it's like a child like with Jada, for example, my daughter. Right now it's don't play with fire.
Yeah.
But then at some point
I have to teach her how to use it.
she gotta go play with fire.
Yeah.
Because
She
she need to
gotta
learn how to cook.
Yeah.
So you gotta know when to. So certain quotes and certain ideas, they can carry you only so far, and you have
Right.
to know when to let go of them and actually move on to the next thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's facts.
And that's
Yeah,
crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's dope. That's dope. All right. Well, what's one thing, talking about all of this and then going on from that, what's something that you feel like people tend to misunderstand about
Right,
you?
because most people probably see you as a serious guy.
Yep.
Like your audience probably think you super, super serious. Me and Juan know you're not that guy. You're not that guy, pal. Like that's not you at all. Like you serious in moments, but your day to day, like I'm with you all the time. Your day to day, you chill, goofy,
Making stuff happen.
like, making stuff
Yeah.
happen.
Man, be childlike, man.
Yeah.
Be childlike. I want freedom to be fun.
Right.
I think a lot of, especially in the 60s, freedom was like, oh, we gotta be mad and
Right.
angry and this and that. And I realized that, scripture said, be ye childlike. And so,
I saw you post that too.
and my name Jullien means young at heart. And so I'm getting older and older, but if I didn't have some of these silvers right here, I call them silvers, not grays, y'all. Silver for the wisdom. If I didn't have some of these silvers, you wouldn't know how old I am at all.
That's
Oh
true.
man, people be like, man, he that old? I'm like,
Yeah, facts. I thought you was way.
You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm silly, I'm goofy, I make corny jokes. I got a song for everything.
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 Everything, literally. Y'all think his ads be like, man, he got some good music to. Now he got a song for
I got a
everything.
song for everything. So I'm just having fun and just playing in this realm. But there's serious moments, and I know when to turn that on. But I'm a kid at heart, man, and that ain't gonna change.
Never. Don't let it change, man. Don't let people take your joy, man.
Definitely.
Not at all, man. Because you know what? To be honest with you, what I discovered just looking at life, adulthood is the most dangerous neighborhood in the entire world.
Because you have no idea really what you're doing if you
for
don't
real.
take the right steps or take the right turns.
Not even that though. Like somebody be thinking about it from time to time, and just different. You know, I'm a creative. I like to call myself a creative. You know, like the photography and videography and like anime and stuff. But you get older and they take your creativity away. Yeah. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you no longer thinking outside the box. It's like, okay, look, follow this. This is how you do it. This is how you get it done.
Like, you're a family man, but I could still play around.
Yeah. This is how you do it. This is how you get it done. There's strict guidelines and everything. Like you look at every industry and stuff like that. There's always a template. There's always a guideline of how to get it done, and nobody ever tries to veer off of that. Nobody's like really trying to think outside the box, except these people when they call them kind of radical. They call them geniuses or crazy,
innovators.
Like right?
Oh, he's such an innovator. He just didn't follow y'all template.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So we gotta break the mold, man.
Just gotta break the mold, man. Like speaking of breaking the mold, like when you looking at life, like as a kid, you approach something, you're like, man, I don't know how to do this. Like now that you're a grown man, how do you approach the unknown?
Good question. The unknown. Let me see. What's the last thing that was just unknown? So I'm going through this process right now of decoding the Bible and really looking at it from a non-religious standpoint and breaking down the allegories that are inside that book. And so as I'm going through my process, I spend at least an hour a day showing up, like 3 a.m. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. I'm in that book decoding stories. So one is just showing up every single day and asking the question. I believe that when you pose questions to the subconscious mind, it will constantly seek an answer for you 24/7, right? And so your subconscious mind works for you while your conscious mind is asleep.
Right.
So this is why you wake up at 3 a.m. with $1 million business idea, because your subconscious mind was working on it while your conscious mind was asleep. In fact, your conscious mind is actually what will block you from it. So you actually need to let your conscious mind go to sleep so your subconscious mind can actually go to work.
Right.
Yeah. So just one, showing up every single day and asking the right questions, and then instead of asking how, ask who.
Okay.
So rather than saying how do I figure this out, ask who already knows the answer.
Yeah, okay. That's actually very true.
Who knows the answer and go get it. And if the information is that valuable to you,
you're going to figure out a way to get it.
You're going to figure out a way to get it. And,
if you really want to.
And I have no problem exchanging money for, I won't call it asset. Yeah, for wisdom. Yeah. For the real information. Because wisdom, you can't Google wisdom. No, I'm sorry. No. You can Google knowledge.
Yeah, but you can't Google wisdom. Like your wisdom in real estate. You done been through it at all.
Yeah.
So you can't, I know how to do that. Oh, yeah, I know how to do that. I could do that a better way. Because it's like, somebody might read, man, how do I get a house with no down payment, man? I said you do it like this. But I can show you how to do this.
Right.
Yeah. Facts.
So
facts.
That's wisdom.
And a lot of things, the knowledge comes, and a lot of knowledge is very surface level. So it's like, okay, you can go get a house with no down payment, just do 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But then you get inside of 1, you get inside of 2, you get inside of 3. There's a lot of nuances in there. You're like, oh man, I don't know what's going on.
It's the nuances. It's the nuances, and most people can't detect the nuances. And I learned this in the subway in New York. You would have literally people playing in the subway stations that play for the opera, but because the average subway rider's ears aren't attuned to the nuances of that play, they think, oh, that person just off the streets and just playing, and they just need to make some money.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you actually would have paid $250 to go see that person,
but you don't know.
But your ear wasn't attuned to the nuances to realize how special he or she was blessing you with their performance in the subway. So you threw $1 in there
when it's really worth.
I threw 20.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the wisdom allows you to see things that the average eye cannot see, and to have that kind of observation and awareness, and to be able to see those small, fine things that actually make the huge difference. Yeah. That's really the key. What Tony Robbins said, he said, like, if a spaceship is off by like a millimeter at the beginning, it's gonna miss its mark at the final destination. And a lot of people think that, My daughter, she see one dance on like a YouTube video, or karate or something like. That.
Right.
Daddy, I could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
That's the innocence of children, man.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful mindset. But baby, you cannot do Misty Copeland yet.
Not yet.
You not Misty Copeland
No.
yet. It's
Copeland, Missy Copeland been doing this since she was your age.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. But that's how the adult mind thinks. So, I can see it from a service. Oh, I know how to do that. And the easiest way is to take somebody to the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you
facts.
think you can cook? Okay, the
Let me
same
see what you
ingredients
got,
that
yeah.
Gordon Ramsay has are in there. Go make the dish.
Yep.
Oh well, let me just. You can even follow his cookbook. You can even try to watch a YouTube video at the same time.
As you doing
and
it. It's not gonna come
It's
out.
not gonna taste the same.
You don't know the nuances.
Exactly. Yeah, you won't know the subtleties of it. You know what I'm saying? You see the cookbook say 10 minutes on the dot, and you know Gordon like I know 8.5 is on the sweet spot.
Facts. And then you on top of that is getting into vocabulary. So when you're on the basic level, it's like it's fried, bake, and this and that. But then you get to a deeper level of cooking, you got new vocabulary. Now you're talking about searing stuff, right? Sauteing, things of that nature. And those are different ways of cooking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you access that new vocabulary is a way of the mind seeing.
Oh, for sure. It's just like basketball.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's
Of course.
exactly like basketball. So we know sports like the back of our hand.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's
that's the one. Oh, he played the one. Oh, he played the two.
Yeah.
Oh, he played the five.
You don't know what he's talking
You don't
about
know what he
if
talking
you don't understand basketball.
Oh yeah,
That's-
he just did
that's
an
the-
Iverson cut. Like people don't know what that is.
And that's in across every industry. I don't care what it is. The first level of barrier of entry is vernacular.
Yeah.
You have to learn the vernacular. Like, and what's crazy about it is it doesn't always. It's not too far off from what you know sometimes, but you just don't understand what that word is. Like the one. But if you heard point guard, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. So like understanding the vernacular is definitely the first barrier of entry to anything you're trying to get into.
Yeah,
anything.
And language is how we see.
Exactly.
Language
Yeah.
is actually how we see. We are defining what we are seeing through our language. So language is really important, and it's a way to start to navigate the unknown, because the unknown is darkness, right?
Right.
Complete.
The unknown is darkness, and that one, having somebody who already has a light in that space or already been through this tunnel is helpful, and then two, having language to help light your way there starts to help you navigate that.
Sometimes you don't have to always be the light in the tunnel. Somebody else can already have a lamp waiting for you.
Facts.
Just walk through.
Facts.
Just walk through and pass through. Maybe their job is to help you light somebody else's path.
And what I found is that people who do have that light, very few people that I know hog the light. They typically want to share that light.
Yeah, you talking about like gatekeepers.
Yeah, gatekeepers.
Yeah.
We used to have that middlemen and things of that nature. What I'm seeing is a more open world where people actually sharing their light.
Yeah.
But you got to have an abundance mindset to feel that, because the gatekeepers or other folks, they have a scarcity mindset. They don't want to share their light. Right?
They don't want nobody to get
the
bigger than them.
limelight. The limelight.
Right, yeah.
What Puff said? Not enough limelight. What did he say? Not enough limelight. Something about limelight. People think, oh, I get this 5 seconds of limelight.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we can. Oh, shoot! You
yeah.
look at the internet today. Everybody getting the limelight. You
Yeah.
got little kids, 5 years
What?
old, getting the limelight. You got this person who loves Pokemon getting the limelight.
Yeah.
The limelight is
everywhere.
You got a kid, the most highest paid dude on YouTube is
Ryan.
a kid. Ryan.
Ryan.
Making a bag off of opening toy.
Man,
My little
showing
cousin
toys.
watched that.
Yeah, showing toys to the kids, man. That's crazy.
Like speaking of knowledge and just in general, just wisdom. There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom, audience, just so y'all know. Do you think a knowledgeable person could make $1 million, or a person who has wisdom can make $1 million quicker?
Quicker. A knowledgeable person typically is going to stay within the confounds of what they know, right?
Right.
So somebody with knowledge, they know where the ledge is,
Exactly.
and they stay within those boundaries. But somebody who has wisdom is able to access things that are beyond what the eye can see, and this is how you find those innovative ideas. Right. And so Elon Musk, for example, he's tapping into wisdom around solar energy. He's tapping into wisdom around electric cars. He's tapping into wisdom around space travel, right? He's going beyond what traditional knowledge would have showed. The things that he's doing aren't in a book, right?
Right.
And so, I mean, if you just look at college graduates, we can see that knowledge alone isn't getting people to the bag, right? And especially when you're learning it from somebody who doesn't have a bag.
That's a lot.
That's
of people.
real. That's
You're
real.
learning it from a professor who don't have a bag.
I never did it.
That never did
Never
it.
did what
So,
you teaching.
it's beautiful to be in this age right now of online courses and things of that nature. where you have people who are not only practitioners, but they are also teachers of it. The practitioners, they do not have to teach. They could just, I could have, to be honest, my real estate, if I chose not to teach multifamily real estate, my portfolio could be probably twice as big. Because I would have just been focused on me and I would have been swooping up all the deals.
Yeah.
But when Harriet Tubman crossed the Mason-Dixon line, she was joyful at first because she was free, but then nobody that she loved or cared about was
there with her. You alone.
Yeah, she was by yourself. And so that's what actually caused her to go back 19 times over the course of a decade to free 300 people.
Right.
And so it's beautiful to be in this space where you have people who are not just book smart, but they're actually practitioners, and they are great. They are happy to actually share what they know.
Yeah. Bring their people with them.
Again, that goes back to the abundance mindset and the people sharing their light as opposed to hogging it.
Of course. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what I would do. I gotta find some kind of way to bring my people along with me. Even when I met you, I was like, look, I got a homie. He out there. He dope. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hook you up 100%.
With him. So that's how we
I definitely always trying to help my people out. Man, it's no fun when you're in the private jet by yourself.
It ain't no fun if the homies can't.
Ain't no fun,
for real.
You on vacation, you by yourself. Like you can't share this experience with nobody. Like you could create memories by yourself, but it's always better with other people that you love and care about.
That you love and care about for sure. Yeah. Speaking of college, though, how do you feel about college?
Man,
before you answer that question, this brother went to UCLA and Stanford. So he went to college.
He went to some college.
He did some college.
Man, I hated college so much. I graduated from UCLA in 3 years because I hated college.
Hey, that's nice though.
You different than me.
I was like, I'm out. Like once I got in the game, I was like, this is BS.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm gonna get out of here as quickly as I possibly can. I wasn't gonna drop out. I was gonna get through it, and so I stacked all my classes, took some summer classes, and got out in 3 years and saved myself $25,000 by doing so. And so I didn't go to college for grades, and I wasn't going to college for a job. So once I got there and really saw what it was all about, I realized that I actually strategically decided to be a B+ student.
Oh, dude, that's me in high school.
I strategically decided to be. I wasn't going for a 4.0. In high school, I was 4.0.
No.
Once I saw what it was all about, knowing that one, the textbooks are already outdated. Those textbooks were written 8 years ago.
Outdated.
And then edited, and then the publisher had to go market it, and then the school bought it, and this and that, and then the 3rd edition they changed 2 words just to sell you a new textbook, and then the teacher. Once I saw that racket, I was like, oh, I'm cool on this. And so I did the bare minimum that I needed in classes to do decent. And then I used the rest of my time to actually grow myself, get involved in a whole bunch of extracurricular activities, leading student groups, going on trips, doing internships, etc. I use so for me, college, you're actually buying time.
Right.
Yeah. You're not buying information or education, you're buying time. Where else can you buy 4 years of time to grow and develop yourself?
Right. And network.
Yeah, and so once I let go of this 4.0 idea, I realized that there's another 4.0, and that 4.0 is your personal capital, your intellectual capital, your social capital, and your financial capital. Your personal capital is how well you know yourself. Okay?
Self-awareness.
Then your intellectual capital is what you know.
Right.
Then, and that likely has nothing to do with your major whatsoever. Then there's your social capital, which is who you know and who knows you.
Right.
And then there's your financial capital, which is who knows that you know what you know. And so the more people that know that you know have intellectual capital in a specific area, when your social capital and your intellectual capital cross, that's where financial opportunities emerge for you. So that was the 4.0 that I started focusing on.
Dope.
And so you got to be very clear on the difference between what we've been taught is liberal arts education. Liberal arts education will cost you. Shakespeare is not helping me in my life today, right? That's liberal arts education. What I teach is liberation arts education. Liberation arts education will free you. And so, but the problem is once people finish college and they're now jaded because they have this student debt, they hate education.
That's true.
That's true.
And so they stop investing in education. No, do not do that. You stop investing in liberal arts education.
Right.
You probably don't need that master's degree, okay, for anybody's credibility or any kind of job. What you need to invest in and double down on is actually liberation arts education.
Right.
Who is actually teaching you something that's going to free you.
Right.
And so college as it currently is as an institution, my daughter, she won't have to go if she chooses not to.
Right.
I'm not breaking, unless it's a full scholarship, I'm not breaking bread like that on liberal arts education.
For sure.
In fact, I will pay for her to do what she wants for 4 years to figure
travel.
out herself.
Travel.
And that's dope.
Now
that's
she got to
so dope.
develop her personal capital, her intellectual capital, her social capital, and her financial capital. But that would be
she won't have to take that unnecessary 4 years of school.
Right.
unnecessary.
So you figured out at UCLA. What made you go back? You went to Stanford after that, didn't you?
Yeah, so that was Stanford was so the only master's program that I feel is universal is MBA.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Because business is just the language of the adult world, right? And so so Stanford was top 2 at that time. It was 1 on some people's charts, 2 on other people's charts, and it was just a rare opportunity. Yeah, I went to Stanford for business school, and I was already an entrepreneur. I was selling things like T-shirts and agenda books and time management workshops when I was at UCLA.
Right.
I was already hustling at that time. I told you I was throwing parties, etc.
That's lit. I feel like we all through parties.
Yeah. But I wanted to refine my business acumen.
Yeah.
So that's why business school was on my radar.
Right.
And so I took the GMAT and did what I had to do, and I got in, and I was one of the youngest in my classes. And you know what? When I went to Stanford, I didn't really learn about business the way I thought I was going to learn. I've learned more about business after Stanford than at
just
Stanford.
doing it. But
what it did teach me, the one thing that is most valuable that it taught me to think bigger about who I am and what I'm capable of. Because I was surrounded by not only the Silicon Valley, but also people in my class who had done some major things. Major things. Yeah. And so it made me think bigger about myself. When I actually started, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna create a youth program, this and that, and help young black men in the hood. Right. By the time I had left there, I realized my agency and my ability to actually change the world. Right. And so that expansion of my mind and what was possible for me and what I could create and do and the impact I could have, that was the most valuable thing that I got from that experience.
Yeah, that's dope. I think that definitely comes from like your sphere of influence and the people that you're around constantly. 100%. Being around people in Stanford constantly who's done big things. You like, man, this dude no different than me. Facts. You feel me? Not to downplay him, but that means I need to up myself. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's competitive, like a group, positive competitiveness.
Yeah. Positive competitive. I like that.
Because it's just like, man, if he could do this, no disrespect to him at all, I know I could do this.
Yeah,
sure.
Facts.
Like, he created a tech firm, I could create a real estate firm. Ain't no different.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's dope. And I think that's one thing. And it's weird for me because I don't see it. I guess it's because of the people I'm around. But like I always see people like just different people on Instagram and social medias like him 500, Pushman, Mitch, and all them. They're always talking about like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We got to get these people out of this mindset in the hood of seeing rappers and athletes and we got to show them that there's more than that. Yeah. And I guess I'm just not. I was never really like in the hood for real. Like I was there for a brief second and everything like that, moved out. But like I said, I guess it's just the people I'm around and I talk to. Like I don't really see that people, you know what I'm saying, think about rappers and athletes like, oh, I gotta go be a rapper, or I gotta go be an athlete. But I think that's just something. I'm not saying it's not there. I think this is something I gotta go tap back in with in my youth.
Point.
Yeah, it's reference point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's only the entertainment factor. So there are a lot of folks who are making way more bread.
Yeah, way more.
Yeah, than athletes in terms of equity and businesses that they're leading, etc. But they're not entertainers, so they're not on a TV screen, and therefore you don't know about them. That doesn't mean that they don't exist.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
who you think they doing these deals with?
That's crazy. My thing was always like, man, okay, who can afford to pay this man $100 million? I want to be him. Who can afford to pay a man $100 million a year?
Yeah. Dribble a ball.
Oh, I'm trying to be him. How much money I gotta have to pay him 100, him 50, him 75?
And his return is crazy.
But some people desire celebrity. Some people
That's true.
desire celebrity.
That's true.
And they want to be famous. I think there was a poll of teenagers, and like their number one goal was to be famous. And there's a lot you can do with fame to leverage it to create wealth. Yeah. But there's a lot of wealth being made by non-famous people.
Oh,
that's true.
Disgusting.
And so one thing I really challenge people to do is I encourage them to look or in any room that they're in, to always in any environment, look at how money is being made. How much money is being made or was made off this room alone.
Right, for
From
real.
the drywall to the paint to this light fixture to the bulb to this pillow to the person who designed this pillow to this microphone to our shoes to our clothes to this wood. It came from a tree. Who shipped that and trucked that over here, etc. To this Airbnb, to all that.
Yeah.
Any environments you're in, when you start to see how money, which is really just stored energy, is flowing at all times, it starts to open you up to the reality that, wow, a job is not the only way to get money.
Right.
I just need to find one of these streams that I can siphon off and tap into and actually channel it towards me and my last name. And so, when you see a company on the freeway, like, this is really important to expand, because a lot of people focus on following their passions. But what I tell people all the time is you don't just follow your passions. You find a problem that you're passionate about solving.
That's dope.
You find a problem that you're passionate about solving. Like I said, Elon Musk, he's solving some of the biggest problems out there.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is not in the 1% and the evil, because he solved a huge problem.
Yeah.
He solved a huge problem. That's it. That's it.
Him and Bezos.
Now I don't, some of his decisions I'm not in alignment with them,
Right.
but he solved a huge problem.
Yeah.
So if rather than being mad at some of these people who are quote unquote in the 1%, then how about you just go solve a huge problem?
Right. Yeah. And scale it so you solve it across the globe.
100%.
For real, because that's what they did. They scaled it. They solving that problem everywhere.
Yeah.
Amazon is literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And everything.
Everywhere.
So so we need to. When people are driving down the freeway and you see a name of a company that you don't recognize, and it's on some big 30-floor building, when you get to the gas station, Google it.
Google it.
And I can literally make up a name Invecto or Cyperstan, and I bet you Google it. There's a company with that name, and they are making bread.
Oh yeah.
Go look at what is it that they're selling.
Yeah,
who are they solving problems for?
Reverse engineer.
Reverse engineer.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you need to go try to chase their bag. What I'm saying is it just opens your mind to all the ways that money is being made around you at all times.
It's not just two avenues, man.
No,
not just rapping and hooping.
And some of the biggest ways to make money are not sexy.
Not at all. Not at all.
Some of them are not sexy.
Not at all. I know people
But would
with
you rather
roofing
be
companies.
sexy or successful?
I know people with roofing companies. That's not sexy at all. You on the roof all day, hot, sweating, but they making bread.
Facts.
Bread on the roof. But yeah, but no, that just I think, like Mike was saying earlier, reference points, and then just having a vision. So like when I was younger, I didn't know there's so many different things and different careers and different, like, even if you did want to work a 9-to-5, which is nothing wrong with that, there's just so many different options out there I never even thought about.
Yeah.
You know, I just knew the basic thing: doctor, lawyer, teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like just the basic little scope of everything. And then out of those, you kind of look at it and like, okay, those look all right. But I mean, doctor looks sexy, but shoot, if I could play ball, that's a little funner to me. You know what I mean? So like having that broad spectrum of knowing what's possible. I didn't really learn about real estate till I got to college. Now at the end of my college career, and I was like, oh man, I wish I would have known about this. This is fun. I like doing this.
About this in 19, it'll be a wrap.
Oh yeah.
But you know, the key word that you said there was fun, and the reason we as kids like games is because they're play.
Yeah.
You get to play. Mm-hmm. It's not fun that people are looking for. It's actually play. Mm-hmm. And when you actually master something like roofs, like real estate, you actually get into a state of play. When you've achieved mastery of something, you get to play.
Yeah.
That's dope. So it played fun. I think we're looking for fun, and this is why we go after things like sports and rap that looks fun. But if what I found is that when you get to mastery, you also get to fun and play. Speaking
of fun, we got a little segment we call This or That.
All right.
We're going to give you 2 choices, and we're going to pick. So let's get it.
All right, okay, look. Book or movie?
Book.
Okay. Rap or R&B?
Rap.
Okay. LeBron or Jordan?
LeBron.
Why LeBron?
If LeBron had Phil Jackson as a coach, he'd have more rings than Jordan.
Not even Phil Jackson. If you had Greg Popovich.
Yeah. The only difference between LeBron and Jordan is coach. LeBron has never had a great coach.
Never.
And so if LeBron had the coaches, Kobe and Jordan had the same exact coach.
And Kobe got 5. Rest in peace. Kobe got 5.
Rest in peace,
Facts. So LeBron, if he would have had a coach like Phil Jackson or Popovich, he would have more rings.
And he been to the finals 10 times.
Yeah.
Man, by himself for real. Not all the
Player
time, but
coach.
like,
Player coach.
For real.
Okay.
All right, apartment or multifamily?
Multifamily.
Of course. All right, this is a good one for you. Harriet Tubman or Malcolm X?
Harriet.
Elaborate.
Harry, that's just my ancestor spirit. That's who I tap into. That's who I look to for guidance. Malcolm will be right there behind her, though.
That's why he did it.
Malcolm will be right there behind her. Those two are my favorite people. Malcolm is one of the greatest demonstrations of personal growth and development ever. In terms of transformation, to go from Detroit Red to who he became in one lifespan. Like, you can hear about transformation in books like The Alchemist or whatnot, but to actually see a demonstration of it, Malcolm was perhaps the greatest demonstration of personal growth and development.
And I also agree, Maya Angelou too.
Yeah, 100%.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? Just thinking about that, going off on a tangent real quick. How do you feel like people are allowed to grow like that nowadays? You know what I mean? Because like a lot of times in social media, people will go back. So like, imagine if Malcolm X was in the social media age. They'd have went back like, man, Malcolm, boy, you was
Detroit Red, boy.
Yeah, boy, what you was doing? We ain't listening to you. So do you think it's a problem nowadays that people aren't allowed? Because I don't like how the fact that they don't allow people to grow. Like how they went back and attacked Kevin Hart. Like Kevin Hart's not the same dude he was 4 years ago. Like how do you not allow people to grow?
Yeah, but other people may do that to you, but we got to get to a point where we don't care what other people think.
That's true.
I didn't say don't care about other people.
Right.
I say don't care about what they think. I think we're evolving faster than we've ever evolved before, and so I think you can actually be 10 versions of yourself in a 70-year lifespan. But if you care about what other people think, and you're worried about your old identities, and you're trying to hold on to your old identity while moving to something new, you can't pour new wine into old wineskins or else they'll burst. So you can't hold on to the old and get to the new. And so you have to have enough confidence in yourself that I actually don't care what other people think. This is what I feel is best and most aligned for me at this moment in time, and so I'm going after that wholeheartedly. So we stop ourselves from evolving, and not other people. Nobody can stop you from growing. Only you can.
That's real. That's definitely real. Okay. So 800 credit score or $1 million? $1
million credit score, man.
All right. So ego or pride, which is worse, really? Huge ego, a lot of pride.
They're actually the same. They're actually the same to me. But the ego is what we are at war with. And let me think, how do I define the ego? Ego would be, I'm trying to think of the language. I actually don't use that word that often. The ego is, I think, an exaggerated sense of self and individuality.
Okay.
And I think that's what cuts us off, because we are all part of, for me, one source. And when we get into self-righteousness and individuality, I think we cut ourselves off from our true power, right? So ego is, I think pride is actually a side effect of ego.
Okay, great answer. That was a wisdom answer right there.
It was a very wise answer right there. For real, I thought he was about to start going into the I and the id and the ego. I was like, okay.
All right, so next we got for you is top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5
rappers. You don't gotta be in a certain order.
Okay, it gotta be an order.
Ain't no certain order. Yeah.
I'm going Black Thought, Jay-Z, Kendrick, Tupac, and Nas.
That's lit.
Woo. That's a good list.
Black Thought is the most slept on.
Man,
most slept on.
I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't have imagined you would have said Black Thought.
If y'all know who Black Thought is, just go look up the roots.
Just go look at the freestyle on Funkmaster Flex. That will rest my case.
I'm telling Black Thought is crazy.
All right, next we got top 5 basketball players.
LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, probably Kareem and Magic.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Who am I missing?
I'm not Tim Duncan, Magic,
Tim Duncan,
Shaq.
nice.
Yeah, Tim Duncan is just
Tim
consistent.
Dude, Tim Duncan, boy, you can't go wrong with.
That's
you know
true.
what he gonna give you.
That's true.
Every time.
That's true. My bad, Timmy.
5 chips.
My bad, Timmy.
Yeah.
6. Timmy 6.
Timmy
You got
6.
6?
Timmy got
Timmy
me
6.
6.
Timmy
You
6.
right.
All right, and the last one. Top 5 people who influenced you.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5. I told you my 2 coaches, Will Ash, Jim Hopkins, Tim Angubani, who was my mentor one of my mentors at UCLA. Mandela Kaise, another one of my mentors at UCLA, and my daughter.
Shout out Jada.
Shout out to Jada, man. When you know you have a seed coming, it facilitates your growth more than any other human being out there besides yourself, hopefully. But she just inspires me every single day to be a better human being, because you know that children learn through observation.
Oh yeah, for
so
sure.
definitely through observation.
So I'm not. You can talk her ear off all you want to, right? But if you don't actually, you aren't doing and being the example, then it's not gonna catch. So that's how I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So what was that? Top 5 people influence you?
Yeah. So I already told you my 2 mentors, my soccer coach Jim Hopkins, Will Ash, my baseball coach. At UCLA, it was Tim Ngubani, one of my mentors, Manila Kaise. Shout out to you all and thank you. And then, of course, my heart, Jada.
Yeah.
Shout out
daughter.
Jada.
Shout out
My
Jada.
daughter, man. When you have a seed coming, it forces you to get your ish together.
It should. It should.
It should, right? It should.
That's like kind of like how you was talking about earlier when you got somebody depending on you.
Yeah, 100%.
They depending on you for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No other way around.
And you know, children, they learn through observation. So you could talk a good game and you say, "Do as I say, not as I do."
Yeah,
Right,
I hate that quote.
What?
I hate that quote.
That's me and Juan generation. We was raised off of fear, basically. Like,
Yeah.
don't open that door for nobody. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's me. Don't open the door.
Yeah.
And as you grow up, he's like, damn, I didn't really open this door.
Right. So, Jada, I just look at her. I learn from her in the way that she moves through life. She has the biggest heart in the entire world. The way she treats people and her friends and her thoughtfulness. And so, she definitely gonna go down as the biggest influence in my
That's
life.
amazing.
For sure.
That's amazing for sure. What's something that you are really passionate about that people don't really know? You know, what's something that you get to, but people are like, oh, we know him for real estate. What's something that you get after that you?
Man, I'm a bibliophile.
Yeah.
I'm a bibliophile. I love that book. Again, I don't look at it religiously. I look at it metaphorically, and I love going into those stories and decoding. Decoding the things that are there, having out my various books and my concordance, and seeing what the Hebrew meaning of that word is, or that name, or that city, and things of that nature, and be like, oh, this wasn't about actual people.
Right.
This was about this person was fleeing the mountains, which is the high ground or high consciousness, and they chose to go to Zoar. Lot was going to Zoar, which is a place of smallness. So he was fleeing the high ground to go to a place of smallness. There's no coincidence that name was right there, or that Jacob wrestled with God at Peniel.
Right.
What is Peniel? The pineal gland.
Yeah.
Of all the words,
yeah.
of all the words that could have been there, where Jacob wrestled with God and saw God's face, it was pineal gland, which is also known as the third eye. Like, to me, that's not coincidence. And so, for me, that book is like 7-layer dip. You can read it literally on the surface and just eat off the surface, but a 7-layer dip, you rarely eat off the surface. You digging that chick all the way in. You know what I'm saying?
Guacamole. You gotta get
And so I like to go to some of the deeper layers, and if people want to read it literally or whatnot, and a lot of people get a lot of joy and a lot of wisdom from the literal layer, that's fine. But I like to go deeper.
That's dope. I love that, especially considering the fact that it was written originally, you know what I'm saying, in Hebrew. So you have to get an understanding of what the context was before to get an understanding of what it really means now, like vernacular.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't understand the vernacular, you don't really know what he's saying.
Yeah, 100%. Because what we're reading is translations. There's like there's like what? There's a LeBron James, the King LeBron James version. There's the King James version. Yeah. There's the
so many versions.
The Larry King version.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Like, which one is it? Like, I don't even call it the Bible. It's a Bible. You have a Bible because there's many different ones now. You know what I'm saying? So,
It's like the most sold book in history. So I mean, of course, there's many.
J.K. Rowling, you almost had it.
But there's reason. There's power. It's power in there for that book to last through time. I just know that there's something powerful in there, even if it's been adulterated, even if texts have been changed, even if books have been left out. I'm able to go through it and really see the core and the wisdom that is still left in there, and I enjoy that excavation process.
That's dope. That's dope. You don't really hear too many people really digging that deep. You know what I mean? Into reading. You know what I'm saying? And getting the understanding of what's actually really there, not just surface level.
100%.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. You want?
Oh yeah, close it out, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming through. But our last question, our final question.
No,
it ain't nothing crazy. It ain't crazy. So we always want to end on like wisdom in the gym because we want this to be like an informing podcast. Let people learn. Like, if you were tuned into this show, what would you want to hear?
If I was tuned into the show, what I want to hear?
Yep. You heard Jullien Gordon was coming on. because we definitely told him in the first episode you was coming. You heard Jullien Gordon was coming on. You was tapping in. He was like, okay, boom, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, what would you want to hear?
Yeah, I could give you a real estate play, but what's coming up for me right now is really changing our relationship to money and understanding money as an inert spiritual substance that we are meant to be good stewards of, and that we are meant to circulate, not accumulate. And once you change your relationship to money, you realize that this green piece of paper is actually worthless, that cash is not king. Cash is the lowest yielding asset in the entire world, and it actually loses value due to inflation. Then you start to understand that I have this stored energy, and I can use this to bring more good and more God on earth, to literally bring heaven on earth by the way I circulate it into ideals, ideas, individuals, institutions, and investments that I believe in. And the greatest investment that you can circulate that energy into is back into yourself, so that you can grow and expand, so that whatever you touch and that you create is actually also expansive. So really just changing our relationship to money. That's why I wrote Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money Manifestation in Your Mind, because we've had a perverted relationship to money for a very long time. We think that it's something that we're supposed to work for. No, it's supposed to work for us.
Exactly.
We become servants to it, and it's supposed to serve us. And so I just really think it's important for those who are righteous, who have good hearts and want to do good in the world. I want all of those people to be rich, so that we can actually do that good together. But we've had these ideologies that money is evil, and when you can't hold the idea that money is evil and still want a lot of money at the same time, right? Those are incongruent thoughts, and they cancel each other out. So, I would really invite people to reevaluate their relationship to money, everything that they were taught about money, and get into a mode of circulating this stored energy as much as possible to things that they truly believe in, including themselves.
Thank you, brother. Well, you my mentor, both our mentors, honestly.
Yeah, for real.
So we appreciate you for coming through.
Yes,
appreciate you for coming out.
Through, man. We appreciate the audience for tuning in.
Yes.
We're going to catch y'all next Thursday, man, on another episode of Hypothetically Speaking. And we are out.